Amend the Mass Media Group is California Capital's premier YouTube channel focused on reparations, dedicated to political advocacy and apologetically aimed at shining a spotlight on our righteous justice claim for reparations.
Bizarre incident unfolded on Highway 101 this afternoon. This is near Highway 92 in San Mateo, and it shut down multiple lanes of traffic, as you can see right there. It's not clear what led up to this, but police surrounded a dump truck on the freeway with a man there who'd gotten out. He climbed on top of a pile. It was maybe gravel or asphalt in the back, and for a moment it looked like he was going to give up and surrender, and then it appeared he started throwing whatever was in the back of the truck at the police officers. They moved in and arrested him. He was then taken away on a stretcher.
Okay, so the recording has started. So, Emanuel, we're going to go through the process. We're going to play the video clip, and then I'm going to pause it, and I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, and then you can respond accordingly from there.
Sure.
All right, brother, here we go.
101 this afternoon. This is near Highway 92 in San Mateo, and it shut down multiple lanes of traffic, as you can see right there. It's not clear what led up to this, but police surrounded a dump truck on the freeway with a man.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right here, okay?
That's great. I was going to ask you to pause it, so great.
Okay, so we're going to start right here.
Well, we already started, and I want to say, I want to ask you a question now. What do you think I was actually doing right there when I'm pointing up to, I'm pointing up, and what am I doing?
Okay, so, all right. So to me, it looks like, I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I'm just basing it off of what I'm looking
your
at.
Opinion or, your thoughts.
Yeah. That I could see that your hand is, I don't know what that is. It could be some kind of gravel. It looks like maybe, or asphalt.
No, I'm talking about the scene right before this where I'm pointing up to the heavens.
Okay, so you want to go back to there.
We don't have to. It already played, but we can. Yeah. Go back to there, please.
Well, we can go back. Okay. All right.
Right so there. What am I doing right now? Yeah.
Okay. So what it looks like to me is you're on top of a truck, and I mean, I don't know what you're saying, but I do see you're pointing up somewhere.
Okay, and you can see the tarp actually on the back of the truck there, right? That back section, you can see the tarp. Rolled out all the way to the back.
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I
so
see that.
So there's a tarp there, right?
Yep.
Now the only way to get that tarp undone is for someone to have unrolled it so that I would be exposed to that hot tar, right? And I don't have the power to do that, number one. But number two, what I'm doing right now, Brother Moye, is giving it up to God. I figure I'm out of here. There's 31 guns pointed at my head. I'm just giving it up to God right now. Like, I'm coming home. I appreciate everything, but I'm the next George Floyd, I guess. I mean, I never thought I would be that way, but that's what and this is after, as I said, it was flight when he pulled this pistol on me and called me. It was flight when he forced me into traffic. I didn't go back and try to attack the officer. I got to the middle intersection where I was then shot in the chest with a taser, thought it was a real gun. Couldn't think of anything but Oscar Grant and Johannes Meserly at that point. My reaction again was flight.
Okay.
Happened to be able to frogger my way across another 3 lanes of the freeway after crossing 4 by the grace of God. Put my hand up to a Mack truck. It stopped. Matrixed my way up onto the top of there. And from there, matrixed my way up on. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm getting a phone call. I'm trying to decline it. Okay, yeah. Matrixed my way up onto the top of the truck. From there, I try to reason with the officers, put my hands on my heads again and say, am I being arrested or detained? Sit down. And from there, it's offering me Marlboros, performing the act of, oh, it's a chimp out, and continuously screaming, we're going to get you. Where am I going to go from here? Because I'm not Houdini. And so they can't be reasoned with. And when we skip, notice that the ABC footage is edited. When you skip from here, you got to understand this whole ordeal was an hour and a half or more. And so by the time you see what you see in the back of there, that's an hour and a half in. These men have tried to kill me on multiple occasions at this time, and really based on one officer. I'm not going to act like it was all of them just trying to kill me, because those officers showed great restraint because I said some mean things to him, but I'm not being charged for saying mean things. But I think I made my point. But basically, what I want you to see right here is I'm giving it up, man. I think I'm out of here, man. And I'm letting God know I'm not scared. I'm letting them know I'm not scared. I believe in a higher power, and everything gonna be all right.
All right. Let's go to
But police surrounded a dump truck on the freeway with.
Okay. So let's go back to here. All right.
Okay.
So
cool.
So we're at this scene, right? And
yeah.
So just to confirm, this is you in the dump truck, correct?
That is me. After they rolled the tarp back, and then forced me in there, yes, that is me. Surrounded on all sides. And with the people in the dump truck. They have no need to be in there with me, to be totally honest with you. And for the record, you Moye, count the bodies in there. And don't forget that guy on the back that's gonna jump on my back. But please continue.
Okay. So you did mention the tarp. So now I couldn't see where actually you were standing. So you were standing on top of a tarp before that.
No, before I was standing exactly where that officer all the way to the far right on top of the truck bed is. You see him?
Yeah.
The one in the bottom right-hand corner there.
Yeah, that's
where I was before that happened. And they forced me into the back by trying to bring the dog to that area to bite me. And like I said, my instinct was flight again. You kick a police dog, you do anything to a police dog, you don't let it bite you and whatever it wants to do to you, and you're assaulting an officer.
Okay, so from what you can remember, we've talked about this a lot of times, I know it was a traumatic experience, so, I'm not expecting you to remember everything. So, I'm not expecting you to remember everything, but you did say that there was a tarp there. Do you recall them?
It's right there. Can you see it? It's right there.
It's on
now it's been rolled back. It's right behind my head.
So originally the tarp was covering what looks to be asphalt.
Yes, sir.
At one point. Okay. And so then they rolled that back at some point in time.
Yeah, when I was there first.
Okay.
first, and then from there they brought the dog up into that little middle intersection between the back of my head where the tarp and the cab connects,
Yep.
and I had to move myself rather than try to fight or do anything or try to, whatever. I had to move again, and I moved to the back. I moved to the tarp, to the top of the tarp, and then
Mm,
they unrolled that tarp so that I would have to be right where I was on the 400-degree asphalt.
mm. Okay. All right. So now you're here, and I'm just saying from my eyes, I'm just asking these questions.
It's
So
all good.
I know you said in the interview you spoke about it being hot and so forth. Now your
Hmm.
hand is what looks to appear to be on some kind of gravel, some kind of rock or something. Um, Now at this point, I mean, from what you can recall, as I said before, if you can recall it, do you recall at this point touching anything at the bottom or no?
I was trying to. I was trying to. I was trying my ass off. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, if it would have been a bed of rocks, and I had thrown a rock at one of these 40, you know, 31 to 40 officers that were out there, and they've all got guns and badges and cars and dogs and bulletproof armor. Am I to be blamed after being trying to be killed on multiple occasions at this point, or seriously injured, which I got out of there just seriously injured but maimed for the rest of my life. So I was trying. Don't get me wrong. At this point, it felt like I told you in the other interview, a bunch of hyenas surrounding the line, bunch of hungry hyenas, all foaming from the mouth, blood dripping, just looking for blood. I mean, at this point, to me, to be totally honest with you, at this point, to me, it seems that, I mean, where am I going to go? Why do you need to get into the back of the cab? Why don't you just get on that same radio that you always use and say, they already have one handcuff on my hand. Mr. Smith, can you please cuff yourself and come down? And roll the fire truck up next to me and let me go in the fire truck or anything. But at this point, I don't think any of these people are here to help me, and that's not their fault. That's one man's fault, Officer David LaRock. But I can't trust anybody at this time. And like I
Okay.
said, just to reverse it, if it was one white guy here and it was a bunch of guys in blue rags, and one of them was the guy that did it, but the other ones were just around, it would be 31 black men up under the jail right now, up under the jail, never coming home. But this happens to be okay. People try to justify this in any way, and that's just what I'm not okay with. But continue, please.
Okay, so you mentioned Officer LaRock. Can
Yes, sir.
can you see him somewhere in this video? I mean, it's hard to see, but is he somewhere in this
Yeah,
video?
it would be terribly hard to see.
Okay.
I mean, I actually remember, most of where everybody was, but I wouldn't want to go on record right now saying that I know where everybody is. Like, I actually do know where a couple people are, but I'll have to go to court and probably testify about this because this is going on record in a courtroom.
Gotcha.
You know,
Okay.
and so
We'll skip
and
that.
so I don't want to give that away, and I don't want to make any assumptions until we're perfectly clear. But I watched this footage numerous times as well, and I have a good idea where most people are. And he is in
Gotcha.
camera.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's continue. All right. So we have that frame. All right.
The
And
man there.
so okay. So from my perspective, I see now you said in the other interview that your hands were flailing of some sort. Now,
Yes, they were.
from my perspective, okay, so in that frame, it looks like your hand is up, right? So your left hand
Which
is
one?
down,
My left
your right
hand?
hand, your left hand is down,
Right now.
but you're right, but your right hand is
Okay.
up. All right. So that's one frame.
There.
And then the next frame. Now I can't see any projectiles or anything, so
That's my point. That's my
I'm not
point.
gonna claim that. But I do
Thank you.
see a throwing motion.
Yes, and But I mean, that's the thing. If I do a throwing motion and I don't have anything in my hand, it might buy me another second to live. At this point, I think my life is over, man. So I mean, but I don't have. You can't pick up asphalt, and that's one of the main things that I'll be doing with the jury. If this
Hmm.
if this even gets that far and they don't drop it first, is I'll just take the jury out. I'll buy. Supposedly this truck full of asphalt costs about $1,200. I'll buy a truck of asphalt, and I'll have the jury go out there and see if they can actually pick up 400-degree asphalt after it sat in the sun for an hour and a half. And that should be case dismissed immediately anyway. So, but go ahead, please.
Okay, so we go there,
Sure.
and then in the next scene, you do see something that is thrown. Now, as I said before, can't see anything. I'm just basing it off of the motion, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all you're basing it off. And that's what they want you to think. That's the beautiful thing. That's why as soon as that all happens, ABC says, it appears, you know, it appears and it actually is are two totally different things.
Okay, so we'll go to the
But you
next
can't
shot.
grab 400-degree asphalt. You just can't grab it. It's impossible.
Okay, so and this is the
And,
next.
and
Go ahead.
furthermore, if you don't mind me saying so, when you see these officers, you see that mound at the top, those officers that are about to traverse that mound, the
Yeah.
mound doesn't move. It's asphalt. It doesn't sink, which you would think it would if you know it was malleable and you could grab it. But it doesn't sink. It's asphalt. They approach it. It's no lower when they come back or when they drag me across it. So I just like people to use a little logic here.
Okay. All right. So we
But
get this
Got
the
that.
yeah,
next
unless you
frame.
see it, go ahead.
Okay, so
And
this
I
is
would
the
love,
next frame.
I would love to see a projectile. Other than that, my arms are just flailing, man.
Okay. Yeah, as I
I think
said
it's the
before,
end. I think it's the end, bro. I think it's the end, man. And I just wanted to go out fight, man. I just seen George Floyd die with a knee on his neck, and I even when I saw him, I said I can't die like that. So I can't go into the afterlife and tell my ancestors I just didn't try at all.
yeah. So I'm just looking, I'm just basing off of what I see, man. So that's I mean,
I
you
get it.
you were there and that's why I
I
had to
get it.
ask
And
you
what
these
you said you
questions.
didn't see though was a projectile. That's my only point.
Yeah, I mean, and the footage is what it is. I can't see anything, but I do see something, in a
You see me
throwing
doing
like the
exactly what
bait.
what I told you I was doing, flailing my arm.
All right.
And
So
from that,
so
I'm on.
it might be something in my hands you're saying. And
right.
I can respect that. But as a journalist who has photo, who can stop this on a dime and maybe enlarge it, which I'm dependent on, show me anything. Show me something coming out my hand at all.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to, as I said before, man, I just wanted to go through this process so you can further explain what ABC, because this is, as far as I'm aware, the only thing that's been out in public. So I just wanted you to explain what we're supposed to be looking at, because
I got
this
you.
is just based on the ABC footage and that's it. So I'm just saying
Yes,
from my
sir.
perspective, I don't know because I can't see a projectile. I'm just saying from something looks like your arms are moving forward. Now that could be a flailing thing, true.
Yes, they
But
are.
I'm just saying that could also be, something being, just from my perspective, your arms are moving forward. So that's just it. But that doesn't mean that something was thrown or not, because I just can't see it. You know what I mean? Like
But you
whatever
can see
is
it. But
there.
we
You know
we,
what
we
I'm saying?
watch we can see a 90 per hour. We can see a 90-mile-per-hour fastball from a MLB pitcher live in real motion all day, but you can't see anything here. And that's my point. It's like it doesn't. I'm not throwing 90-mile-per-hour fastballs, so I'm not throwing whatever was that fast. So
Yeah.
therefore, you know, there should be something to see if there's something coming out of my hand.
Yeah. I mean, and just playing devil's advocate, I do
No,
see,
I respect it. You're a journalist.
yeah. Yeah, because as a devil's advocate, and it may be kind of hard to see, but there is one police officer that is kind of reacting. Now I do see there's like two other. So right now there's three police officers in the truck with you, in the bed of the truck. Two of them kind of look like they kind of move, but not really. But there is a third officer, and I don't know if he's holding the taser or not, or if they're all holding tasers. But he is kind of reacting a little bit.
Yeah,
But
one of them
that's
was holding
still
the taser. Go ahead.
okay. But I don't know
I'm sorry.
how conclusive that is in terms of if a projectile is actually being launched at them. Because I mean, from this footage, I personally can't see it. Now, if there's maybe an enhanced type of software program that can do that, then maybe. But I'm just basing it off what ABC has provided, and this is what's in public right now. So this is what
I
the only
respect
thing
it.
that we're
Listen,
going off
it's
of.
no big deal. But if I were you, I would try it sometimes, and also see if you see anything bounce off of any of the officers. That's the key thing. That'll stop the motion and bring it back. But try this sometime. Walk with nothing in your hand, and make a throwing motion at someone. And don't do this to excite violence or anything like that. But make a throwing motion at your friend, like you were gonna throw something at him. And chances are your friend will react as you have something in your hand, as we're trained to do. But you don't have anything in your hand, they'll still kind of duck or hold on. So that's my point. As far as you see an officer reaction, yes, if I act like I'm throwing something, someone's gonna think there's something in my hand, and it might buy me another second to live.